Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to our second Mozart Wednesday. This week we're looking at another Osanna Fugue. Last week we looked at the Sanctus and Osanna. This is just a very short, sweet bit of Mozart, actually composed, as we know, by Süssmayr. This is the Osanna Fugue from the Benedictus. More on this in a minute, but what a week! What an exciting week to be performing and learning and say skirting around the edges of the world of Mozart, because you may not be aware, but some new Mozart has just, to use the common parlance, dropped. Mozart's just dropped a new single, everyone. And in case you're thinking, ha ha ha, no he hasn't, they discovered a new trio, and by new I mean actually an old trio, composed by the teenage Mozart in 1780 something. And you can hear it performed right here on YouTube after this broadcast, of course. And I love the name. They've decided to call it Ganz kleine Nachtmusik, which is a very little piece of, of night music. Very much a nod to Eine kleine Nachtmusik. It's been performed by, I believe, 3 students from the Johann Sebastian Bach Music Academy in Leipzig. And you can have a listen to it. It's absolutely delightful. What a time to be alive, everyone. Brand new Mozart being discovered, and tomorrow, right here on the channel, we shall be seeing whether AI can generate music very much in the style of Mozart. It's almost like I planned it. Let me check if everything's working here in the studio. People are not shouting no sound, which is good. Alison's read about it in the news. Good. Excellent. I'm glad I'm not seeing things. Lisa's heard about it. Lots of people have heard about this new music. I also see that Carolyn is learning Mozart's Requiem with her choir. Of course, I'm sure you will point everyone to these revision materials, Carolyn, as they are completely free. Anyone learning Mozart Requiem will be very, very welcome to share today's broadcast, last week's. And in fact, we did also learn Confutatis here on Home Choir a while back. All of them, please do share them widely. Now, let me just check that we can see the score for today. So here is our interactive score. Let me press the button and check we can hear it. Excel again. We're with the German pronunciation. Now you see, technology is marvellous. I used an AI voice to substitute my soprano. I've basically had enough of listening to myself sing soprano. And so we are going to be entertained today by an AI voice whose name was Lisa. And she's an actual person who's lent her voice to be used by people on the internet. It's a licensed voice, and it sounds like this. Not perfect, but an awful lot better than yours truly singing it. So there we go. Let me welcome everyone who's watching, whether you're watching live or later on. You are very, very welcome to Home Choir. Thanks to everyone who has joined the channel in the last few days. Should we have a quick subscriber update? Drum roll, please, everyone. Please hold. Your choir is important to us. Dun, da, 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 dun. Down. Aha! 5187 as of this broadcast. Please do help us get to our target of 10,000 subscribers. We haven't got a time limit on it, but it'd be great to hit that number. So if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, it is all free and you're very welcome to join us. Just hit subscribe. Don't forget the like button is also free, and we love to have you with us. So who is here this afternoon? Well, hello to Helene and Bill and Val, of course, watching. Hello, Sue and Tony and Sally and Annie and Maureen, and to anyone else who's watching but isn't in the live chat. Hello, Alison. Hello, Carolyn. Hello, Colette. Hello, Dave. Hello, Jill. Hello, David. Hello, Teresa. Hello, Eileen. Hello, Liz. Hello, Emma. Hello, Fiona. Hello, Epi. Hello, Irena. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Janet. Hello, Jill. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Michael. Hello, Mike. Hello, Nikki. Hello, Nina. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Sheila. Hello, Sean. Hello, Sue. Hello, Susanna. People watching from all over the world, people taking part in Home Choir, wherever you are, you're very, very welcome. So let me be saying, I think I prefer your SOP voice. I don't, Mike, but it's very kind of you to say. Let's see how we get on with today's session, everyone. It's a really lovely piece. It's by Mozart, but it's not by Mozart. More on this in a moment. So if I can give you a call. to sing. And let's have the F major home choir, everyone. A nice solid sound. Nice deep breath and... Excellent. Thank you so much, everyone. And welcome to your home choir teaching session for this week. And we are looking at another piece of music from the Mozart Requiem. Now, Mozart's picture adorns our broadcast today. His name is on the front of the score of the Requiem, but of course this particular piece was not composed by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, because by the time it came to write this, I'm afraid Wolfie was dead. Spoiler alert, but he had died in December of 1791. In order to complete the work, Constanza, his widow, commissioned a number of people to finish the work for her, and it was Franz Xavier Süssmayr, one of his young students, who completed the Requiem. He wrote 3 movements in their entirety, and he completed the Lacrimosa as well. This comes from the end of the Benedictus, and to say it's short and sweet is a huge understatement. When we get to start it, I should give you my personal theory as to why this is a very short fugue. But for now, just be assured, it's lots of fun. It's also one of the pieces that gets kind of glossed over when one rehearses the Mozart Requiem. So I hope you enjoy learning this one with me today. Now, of course, we're not just going to leave it there. I am fascinated with the rise of technology. As you all know, we use a lot of technology here on Home Choir. And tomorrow we shall be using the very latest versions of Suno and Udio to see if technology has progressed to the point where, well, we can ask AI to write a Sanctus, to write a Benedictus, to write an Agnus Dei in the style of Mozart. Can AI now do a decent enough job so that if Constanza had come forward in time, she could have asked AI to do it rather than Süssmayr? Now, I know there'll be people out there who are already saying, no, of course it can't, of course it can't. Come along tomorrow, 2 o'clock, for the full live stream and find out. At the very, very least, you will, I'm sure, be surprised at how well AI can do. And I genuinely don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be done in real time, but I do know from my experimentation with this technology over the last few weeks, things have moved on considerably. And then on Fun Friday, well, not in terms of the weather, but in terms of the music, we shall be feeling hot with some funky music to take you into your weekend. Now, of course, here on Home Choir, we rely entirely on the kind support of our supporters, unsurprisingly, our kind donors who give either on a monthly basis or on a one-off basis to support the channel, and we couldn't do it without your help. So if you'd like to help Home Choir grow, you'd like to help support us, all the money you give goes back into making these shows. So do please consider going along to homechoir.org/donate and just buying us a cup of coffee. Anything would help us. And if you're already one of our kind supporters, well, thank you very much indeed. And of course, we send out a weekly email newsletter in which we contain all of the news and all of the exciting things that are going on in the world of Home Choir, and that's free as well. So just go along to homechoir.org, click newsletter, fill in the very short form, and you are done. Now, normally at this point, we would sing happy birthday to any choristers celebrating today, but according to our records, there are no choristers celebrating their birthdays today or tomorrow. A rare day, increasingly rare, but there will be plenty to sing for on Friday. So what we're going to do, everyone, we're just going to have a very, very quick vocal warm-up to get ourselves ready to sing, because this is a fairly acrobatic piece. We're just going to roll our heads around, and we're going to roll our shoulders around. So everyone, it's lovely to see so many people here in the chat. So just to say again, those of you that perhaps skipped the little preamble at the start, it's a very exciting time to be alive because, well, Mozart is still releasing new music. If you haven't already seen, just go onto Google and just type new Mozart piece. You'll see it in the recent news. It was on the Classic FM news website, I think just today. The piece is called Ganz kleine Nachtmusik, which is a very little night music. And it's a little trio which he apparently wrote when he was a teenager. It's been recorded by 3 young students from the Johann Sebastian Bach Music Academy in Leipzig. And it's a charming piece, and it's just such a delight when you think you've heard it all to have some new Mozart. So let's sing. Now we're in the key of B flat major today. So we're going to sing ya, 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 ya. With me, and ya, 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 ya. 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 Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 ya. Ya, 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 ya. Keep going. Ya, 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 ya. Couple more. Ya, 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 ya. One more. Ya, 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 ya. Thank you very much indeed, everybody. So let's just quickly bring this up on screen. So this session is to look at the Osanna Fugue 2, the second Osanna Fugue from Mozart's Requiem. So this is at the end of the Benedictus. The Benedictus, just to say, it's all composed by Süssmayr. It is an exquisite piece, the Benedictus. It's absolutely lovely. In fact, you can almost see, when you take the Süssmayr sections, which is the end of the Lacrimosa, you take the Sanctus, the Benedictus, the Agnus Dei, and the very, very end of the Requiem, which is just a restatement of the first couple of movements. When you look at the material, you can almost see which pieces he left to the very, very end. Now, bear in mind, he was a student. That being said, he seems to have been a rather industrious student, unlike many, in that it's very clear he actually did a huge amount of work, and there's no evidence that he slept till 3 o'clock in the morning and ate breakfast cereal at midnight. But the Benedictus is beautiful and very, very much in the style of Mozart. The Sanctus is good. I think it could have been grander. Mozart would have made it grander, but it's certainly very good. The Agnus Dei, I think, is quite forward-looking and quite interesting. When we get to the fugues, however, you can tell that he was a young composer without the confidence and without perhaps the musical experience of Mozart. So the first fugue and the Sanctus, which we looked at last week, doesn't really go anywhere, has a couple of little bits that are rather inelegant. And the fugue we're going to learn today is even shorter. And I suspect he left this one to the very, very last minute. This has the feeling of writing it at sort of 3 o'clock in the morning, the night before the deadline. That being said, there's a lot to commend it, and so let's put it up on the screen. Everyone, I'm going to press this magic button here and use our splendid new technology. And if you have a look in the description, you will find a link to a score which is just the chorus parts. You don't have to download the entire Mozart Requiem. It is just the chorus parts for this. And you can see it starts off with the tenors. Osanna in excel. We are singing with the German pronunciation in excelsis rather than excel or excelsis. And so bear that in mind if you're singing this for a choral performance. Wherever you are in the world, your conductor will have, I'm sure, a strong preference as what you should sing. And please always defer to what your conductor says. Please don't blame me. I don't want angry emails from conductors all over the world saying, my choristers are saying you should sing this. Sing what the conductor asks you to sing. For today, we're going to sing Excelsis. And it runs all the way through. The bass is the last part in, and it lasts, oddly enough, just over 22 bars. 22 and a bit bars, which is a rather odd number. What we're going to do is we're going to have it from the very start. I'm going to turn all of the parts up equally, and then we're going to proceed, somewhat unusually, in order of entry. So we'll start with the tenors and we'll work all the way through to the end. Then we'll do the altos, then the sopranos, and last but not least, the basses, who have literally one phrase to learn. Okay, so let's start off with a full playthrough. Tenors start here, altos come in here, sopranos shortly afterwards, and here it is. Oh, let's have it from the very start, actually. Here we go. So, and altos. Sopranos. Basses. There we are. Short and sweet. And it works. It works. It's not as artful. It's certainly not as elegant as Mozart himself would have written. In fact, you can imagine that that Süssmayr was sort of writing with one eye on the heavens, expecting a sort of a ghostly tap on his shoulder at one point and a tut from his master. But in the end, I do have to say, I think it's just such a great thing that he actually completed this work on behalf of his master. He clearly loved him very, very much. So let's have a look at the tenor line first. This is the part that sings most of the way through. And if you've seen last week's session, I'm just going to turn the volumes down a little bit on the other parts, you will recognize this figure because it is very, very much based on the Osanna Fugue at the end of the Sanctus. But the tenors come in first on the B flat. Okay, so let's learn this first section here. Okay, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more so we can see it a little bit more clearly. Bear with me a moment, everyone. There we go. Okay, so we come in after 1 and we sing 2, 3, 1. Osanna in excelsis. Okay, that little run from the top note. Just careful of those last 2 notes, it's a doorbell. So let's go from excel here, the last note of bar 3. 1, 2, excelsis. Okay, so from the beginning after 1, 2, 3, 1. Osanna in excelsis. Now I'd suggest grab a very quick breath, though you can see there's very, very few opportunities for you to breathe. So I would suggest, particularly those of you that are singing this as part of a big choral performance, stagger the breathing. Breathe in wherever you like, rather than trying to all snatch your breaths at the end of a phrase. Just my advice. So carrying on. Most of that is quite straightforward. Coming from the C down to the F and then climbing. Let's just sing that. That's really quite easy there. The next bit's not as easy as you think. After 2, 1, 2. Osanna in excelsis. Very nice. Note you're holding the B flat here in bar 9 for 2 beats. That then moves on to a C, which ties across the bar line. C, C, and then moves on. Okay? Excelsis. Let's just sing that section here as highlighted here on screen. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Excelsis. That's the part that throws most tenors in person, is just making sure you're tying that note appropriately. My best suggestion to you is to look up at your conductor. Gasp, I hear you say. Watch the conductor. What you're looking for is the downbeat. Excelsis. You bounce off that note, and that helps you keep you absolutely in time. Carrying on, we've got another little line here, most of it moving by step, but with one moment in particular which always catches tenors out. So let's pick it up from bar 11, second beat, and it's 1. And I bet you've already spotted the tricky bit. It's these last 3 notes of this bar here, bar 14. Let's just pick it up to, let's just sing it through with the piano, okay, in excel, after 1, 2, 3, 1, in excelsis. And you know why that bit's so tricky is we've been dropping down a third all the way through, okay? We're used to dropping down thirds. Here's one, here's another one, here's another one. Here's one just before. So we're used to singing down a third. Here, it's a fourth. So, ya da 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 da. And that's how I'd suggest to you learn it. Let's sing that 3 times in a row, tenors, just to sell. And sail again, sail. One more, sail. Good. Lock on to that note there. Lock on to the D, and then you'll be fine. And then just note that we've got an E natural rising. Sail. And then dropping down the E flat to the D. Sail. And cis. Good. And then you have the rarest of things for tenors in this. You have a bar's rest to catch your breath, and then to the end, well, it's about as straightforward as this gets. Okay, much more straightforward. I would always say lean on the long notes here. So it's 1 Osanna in excelsis, in excelsis. Great, well done. Let's take it from the top, everyone. So this is the tenor sing through. I am going to keep the other parts playing, but softly, and I'm going to sing and play along with the tenors. And then we should move on to the alto line. So altos, get yourselves ready. Tenors, we're going to take it from the top, and we're coming in after 1. Ready? Sorry, not coming after 1. We're coming in after the first chord, which is on the first beat. So it's 2, 3, 1. Osanna in excelsis. One. There we go. Fantastic. Bear with me a moment, everyone. I'm just going to mute the sound quickly. Closing the window because, well, the weather is very, very Bristolian today, and I didn't want you to be distracted by the sound of the impending storm. So that is the tenor line. Let us move on to the next part in the fugue, which is, of course, the alto part. And we can see here, we don't start for a little bit, we come in bar 5. And so just to give you a sense of what's going on, I'm going to actually make the tenor part a little bit louder here, altos, and just listen to the way that the tenor sets your part up. Here we go. And so you get the idea. Now I'm going to put the tenors back in the corner. Nobody puts the tenors in the corner. I do, I'm afraid. And let's have a look at your line here, altos. So you can hear where the tenor's coming on the B flat, you come in on the F. This is typical for a fugue. And so it's 1 Osanna in excelsis. Okay, shorter phrases than the tenors had to deal with. Let's just look at those first 5 notes. So it's 1 Osanna in. It's a different shape to the tenors. They were singing, you're singing, it's a 6th there. So just make sure you're ready for that. Let's sing that together, please, altos. After 1, 2, 3, 1. Osanna in. Very nice. And then you use the energy from that descending third to launch you into the next section. And most of that is Next Door Neighbour. Excelsis. That little bit at the end is basically just decorated F. With me. Excelsis. Again. Very nice. Let's put the note just before, so we're going to sing and Note the curved line on there, the slur, to encourage you to sing it as one phrase. Speaking of which, let's sing from your entry. Are we ready? Coming in after 1, 2, 3, 1. Osanna in excelsis. Very good. Now, just as with the last fugue in the Sanctus, he's only giving you a very, very short space to breathe. However, that scoffing sound is the tenors who are all saying, well, we didn't get a chance to breathe at all in the middle of this, so we should be grateful for any breath that we can grab. Grab a quick breath in the middle of bar 10, and then... So some interesting stuff going on there. I think we're going to break that down into 2 chunks. First of all, Osanna in excel. Listen. Okay, with the piano after 2. 1, 2. Osanna in excel. Singing through into the next bit, which again is just a decorated F, but we've just got to be mindful. On the way down, it's E flat. On the way up, it's E natural. So in fact, let's just sing this bar over and over and over again. Just to L and... It's almost like you're frowning on the way down and you're smiling on the way up. And that might help, although the audience might chuckle at the sight of the girding altos. Let's sing that phrase together, shall we? The upbeat to bar 11, Osanna. After 2, 1, 2. Osanna in excelsis. Very good. Now, carrying on, you get another very brief breath, just that one beat, and just enjoy it. So now this is quite straightforward. Osanna in excelsis. Ba, 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 ba. Quite like a trumpet. So let's sing it like a trumpet. Last beat of bar 15. After 2. 1, 2. Osanna in excelsis. And then big and brassy to the end. And actually it's got one of my favourite bits in this very short piece, which is the alto's rhythm in the second bar of this phrase. Okay. Osanna in excelsis. And it's this ba-ba in the Zanna. I love the fact that sort of pops out of the texture. Oh, sorry, wrong key. Osanna in excelsis. So I always say to you, make that C on na, make it really pop. Let's sing it together, please, altos. I mean, sing from the beginning. From bar 19, 1, 2, 3. Osanna in excelsis. Very nice indeed. So from the top, and I'm just going to make sure the levels are good. So you will hear the tenors, but they'll be quite soft, and we will sing and play together. Ready, altos? Here we go. And take a deep breath, and and 2, 3. There we go. Nice line. Okay, so now let's go back to the top. Sopranos are in next. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Basses have got the longest wait of all for the shortest bit of music, but I know they will forgive me for that. Now, I have used an AI voice replacement for this, because I did record it and it did not sound good. Even with the usual digital manipulation, it just sounded like Miss Piggy on helium. So thank you for the kind comments saying they prefer my soprano voice. You would not be saying that if you heard it. That being said, it is my performance. I've just swapped it out for an AI voice. So let's just have a little look here. I'm going to make the other parts a bit louder so you can still hear the tenors and altos come in. And you can see here already, sopranos, you're singing much more akin to what the tenors sang. Okay, so you're going up that diminished fifth or augmented fourth rather than up the sixth as the altos did. Let's have a little listen. Here we go from the top. Here's the altos, and then sopranos come in. So let's have a little look at that line there. You can see it comes in with the same fugue shape as everyone else, with a nice bright or of Osanna. It's 1 Osanna in excelsis, and from that upper note, it's all next door neighbour until the little run up here, until this interval, which is just that third down. So let's sing it with the AI voice, shall we, everyone? Okay, so coming in on the B flat. After 1, ready, 2, oh, hang on, to get the button in the right place. 2, 3, 1. Osanna in excelsis. Very good indeed. Now let's have a look at the next section, which is actually quite straightforward. It looks tricky, but if you actually stop and analyze what's going on, most of it is next door neighbour. And if you remember that this business of all of these notes are just decorating, it's just decorating main notes. Osanna in excelsis, rather than singing each note with the same weight. Osanna in excelsis. You know, no one wants to hear that. Keep it flowing. It's basically, it's the first note of each bar. Osanna se. Those are the important notes, and the rest are just meandering around. There are a couple of places where you have a third to watch out for. There is one, and there is the other, but otherwise, it's straightforward. So let's sing it slowly with the piano from the last note of bar 14, which is highlighted here. After 2, 1, 2, Osanna in excelsis. Good, and again, 1, 2, Osanna in excelsis. Good, and a bit faster with a sense of flow now. 1, 2, Osanna in excelsis. And then to the end, Osanna in excelsis. A very lovely little tune. It's worth noting that you've got long, short, and then short, long. So, Osanna in excelsis. Okay, and just as with the altos, when I asked them to make the C pop out of the bar when that rhythm happened, same for you. Okay, with the piano, please. Osanna, 1, 2, 3. Osanna in excelsis. Great. So let's take it from the top with the sopranos louder. You will hear the altos, well, tenors first, then the altos, and finally the sopranos are in. And basses, thank you for your patience. We'll be along in just a minute. Here we go. And the altos. Are you ready? And Lovely. Okay, so we've got one more line to learn, and it is the bass line. Let's bring you chaps up here on screen. And, well, it's actually quite unusual for basses to be the last in a fugue. Quite often, the basses are the first in. But I think this is to make up for the fact that that's what happened in the Sanctus. I think he wanted to give you a little bit of a break. So you can see here basses. We start off with the... which we're used to, okay? And so let's just sing Osanna in Excel to the... Ooh, I owe myself €1. Excel. Okay, Osanna after 1, 2, 3, 1. Osanna in Excel. Very nice. Now, once we get to that note, let's just examine what happens, because basically it's an elaborate way of kind of rolling down the hill. It has that feel, doesn't it, of rolling a cheese down a hill like they do here in Gloucestershire. Yes, it's much more of a vocal exercise. So let's just examine it down the scale to the E natural here in bar 17. That then leads us back up to the F, then down a third, still on the E natural. Okay, so let's sing from sail to there. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Sail. Good. And then from there, it's a different route. Ya da 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 dum. It sounds like ya da 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 dum. Yes, it's a vocal exercise. Sail, cease, and sail, cease. So let's put it together from Excel. After 2, 1, 2, Excel, cease. Very good. And then just to bring it home, let's put this in the right place. Okay, after 2, ready? 1, 2. Osanna in excelsis. Pa 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 pa. Nice and straightforward there for you basses. So let's take it from the top. Let's have the bass part louder. You'll hear the tenors, the altos, and the sopranos before basses you come in with your line. Here we go. Are we ready, basses? And Osanna in excelsis, Osanna in excelsis. And there you have it. Let's put all 4 parts up on screen, as I do see people in the chat saying I much prefer to see all 4 parts. I completely understand that. Well, remember, we always give you a score, so there is a PDF score for you to use in the description, and we're trying out this tech, and lots of people like it. Some people think there's things that need to change. I mean, we love hearing from you in terms of positive feedback, and so if you've got things you want to share with us, do let us know. But I do like the way that we can see exactly what's going on screen. I can highlight things. This is very much my cup of tea. So let's take it from the top. Tenors here, followed by the altos, then the sopranos and the basses, and then we can say that we have learnt this piece together. So if we're ready, tenors, you'll hear the first chord, and then we are off. Are we ready? Have fun. Ready? 2, 3, 1. I said it was short and sweet, and thus it was so. So I hope you enjoyed learning that piece with me today. Those of you who are singing it for a concert and have been along to learn this with me, well, I hope it all goes really, really well for you. Remember, we have lots and lots of choral resources here on Home Choir for all sorts of music, lots of classical pieces, but folk songs, sea songs, fun songs, silly songs, all sorts. So do have a search for us and do subscribe if you haven't done so. Now, if you enjoy singing Mozart, or should we say Mozart adjacent music, well then you're going to want to join me tomorrow at 2 p.m. for a live stream where we explore what AI music is capable of. No, it's not going to replace human musicians anytime soon, but I love keeping up with it. I think we all need to keep up with what technology is capable of. And so tomorrow we shall be setting a rather lofty task of Suno and Udio to compose 3 pieces each, Sanctus, Benedictus, Agnus Dei, in the style of Mozart. Come along and find out what it's capable of. And then on Fun Friday, we're going to be singing some great, great fun pieces, including Feelin', Hat, 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 something very, very different. Next week, you've got some gorgeous music to look forward to. You've got a Japanese children's folk song on Monday. We're going to be learning Locus Iste by Anton Bruckner, revisiting that teaching from the very, very early years of this channel and using all of our new technological marvels to make that a better product, and then more Fun Fridays to look forward to. So lots coming up still on Home Choir. Thanks everyone for your support, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.